Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JLB Rapid Reaction Show. I am Laika Abibi, and alongside me is
Kai Jones, owner of WJG Sports. It is great to be here after a lovely night of football. Had a lot of big wins out of teams, but of course, one of the biggest wins was by Bethel Christian over the defending champs in the Striker Game of the Week.
Yep, that's right. The Bethel Christian Trojans won 60-22 over Northeast/Hobgood Academy.
Yep.
They racked up over 500 yards of total offense, most of it on the ground, led by senior running back Josh Sutton, who had 22 carries for 316 yards and three touchdowns. It was a blowout from start to finish. They were ready from opening kickoff.
That is a lot of yards, even for an 8-man game. I'm just going to tell you that. He is absolutely dynamic.
Absolutely.
When he gets into the open field and his speed, he's the truth. I mean, he's only, a sophomore?
He's a senior.
He's a senior. Okay, he's a senior. But yeah, he's...
But they have a lot of kids that remember what happened last year against Northeast/Hobgood.
Yeah.
And those kids came ready to play. It wasn't just offensively. Defensively, they forced 5 turnovers.
Right.
Connor Williams, the starting quarterback/linebacker, had 2 interceptions, recovered a fumble, threw a touchdown pass to, I believe it was Daquan Hamilton, and he was all over the place for them. Also, Easton Truitt, the sophomore, had 2 interceptions as well. There was a blocked punt in the game by Andrew Stonebreaker. It was an overall banner performance, a statement performance by the Trojans, and they look to be the best team in Division I 8-man. Would you say?
I agree. Which I thought that coming in. I thought they were going to come in and be able to win a state championship just with losing only one senior last year.
A very good one in Cody Dunn.
Right. But I knew that they would be able to come in right away and be able to run the table, I think. They're going to go undefeated, and I think there'll be another state championship banner going up in the Bethel Christian Gym. They won one in 2016, and I think that they can do it again this year.
Yeah, I really believe that as well. I believe that this Trojan squad is hungry, and Coach Crowder's boys they really want this one, and it showed.
Yeah.
That I thought that game was going to be a lot closer because, of course, the player of the year in that division, JT Simmons, was on Northeast/Hobgood Academy,
right.
And he played pretty well. Yeah, I believe he had 2 passing touchdowns, but pretty much Bethel Christian held them in check the entire game.
Right.
They scored 22 points Northeast/Hobgood, but I believe one touchdown came off of turnover,
right.
And there was one at the end as well. Really, from start to finish, this was all Bethel Christian.
Right. Of course. Speaking of start to finish, what a game it was here for the WJG Sports Game of the Week between CB Aycock and Goldsboro.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Falcons were able to pull it out 21-14 on a controversial call. Of course, Goldsboro has been in some tight games the past couple of weeks. Really.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been on the right end of a couple, and
unfortunately
they were on the wrong end of this one. But
you get a catch at the 1-yard line. He extends, he fumbles it, and
I believe it was recovered by Tay Jackson.
It was recovered by Tay Jackson, and he downed it in the end zone. CB Aycock took over, and Goldsboro got the ball back again with about 2 minutes, 38 seconds left, something like that. But they were on the other side of the 20 after a booming punt. So, really, CB Aycock, this was the type of game that CB Aycock has been known to lose in past years, but this was the type of game where they kind of showed that maybe this group was a little bit different. I think, just with the way it went, it got really tough. Goldsboro, they get a pick 6 to tie it up at 14, and easily could have folded right there, but they came back. Tay Jackson really controlled the game in the second half, just with the way he was running downhill. And
that's a bad man.
It's a bad man. He's a big guy. You don't want to tackle that guy in the fourth quarter.
I was gonna say if
the first quarter, you I want to hit him. I want to hit him.
I was gonna say if I ever needed a bodyguard, I'd ask Tay Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid is huge.
Yeah, he delivered the goods. He delivered the goods that
Absolutely.
night.
Well,
And,
albeit with some controversy, didn't Goldsboro have a really good amount of like 5 or 6 turnovers?
yeah, they had 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
So they
That
did
does not
really
win.
good.
That doesn't win football games.
Yeah.
I know Coach Tim Ray knows that.
Yeah.
But they've been on. They've
Right.
been really competitive all year so far.
Right, so they've had some games that could have went either way.
Absolutely.
In the last 2 weeks, it's going their way. This way, this time it went against them.
Absolutely. But yeah, give some credit to Coach Brooks and the staff over there with the Golden Falcons.
Yeah.
That's a real good group, and they really needed a game like that to see if they could win it.
They bounced back from that Hunt game really
Yeah,
efficiently.
absolutely.
Because a short week, they kind of had to throw it out. Coach Brooks said that they all had to tell the truth Monday, and everyone, he said there were some hard things that were said that needed to be said, and some things that were corrected, and they had one of the best weeks of practices since he's been a coach there. And he made the statement after the game, nobody wants to see us right now. When we practice like that, nobody wants to see us. So
yeah, that team's going to be a tough out. They're in of course, the Eastern Carolina 3A4 with a lot of teams that I cover. So I'll definitely be seeing a lot of them, and they do definitely have the goods offensively, especially to challenge a lot of these teams. So.
I mean, you got to think for ACOG now. They're looking like the team that's probably going to be the best team in Wayne County.
Oh yeah,
And that's one of their big goals.
Yeah.
They got Southern Wayne coming up on October 4th, and then Eastern Wayne, I think 2 or 3 weeks after that.
That's a big statement there, Kai. I know there are a lot of other Wayne County squads that are like, hey, what about us? But hey, no. But it's
You
a
beat Rosewood.
Yeah.
And Rosewood
yes.
is currently
no. CBA Cox made their case. I definitely agree.
It was currently 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goldsboro's now 2-2. They beat Goldsboro beat Eastern Wayne and Southern Wayne. So now, if you think, okay, if ACOG beats Southern Wayne and Eastern Wayne, I mean, the only team they haven't beaten would be Spring Creek.
I mean, I think,
and I think most people know that ACOG beat.
Yeah, I was going to say, no offense to our friends over in Spring Creek.
Yeah, but I think this was a huge way to stake their claim to that. And years past, Goldsboro had kind of overlooked CBA. I even think they overlooked them a little bit this year, just because of how last year went with Clay going down. But I think that they did a good job I think ACOG did a good job of just being ready and staying in the game and continuing their fight. Now next week they take on North Johnson, who actually is a part of our next segment, which is called Storylines We Love.
That's a really good transition there, Kai. Yes, the North Johnston Panthers defeated Smithfield Selma 29-15, which was for Coach Barnett, his first win as a varsity head coach. So
yes,
congratulations,
to him. Coach. And he actually, the same night, Green Central defeated Eastern Wayne 8-6.
Yes, 8-6 in 2019. There was a game that was 8-6.
Yeah, 8-6. Green Central won. It was Coach Jay Wilson's first win as a varsity head coach. Both of those guys been coaching over 20 years. This is their first time getting a chance to lead their own varsity programs, and both of them get the win on the same night.
Absolutely.
Actually,
so happy for both of them.
One of the things that is pretty cool is they both have worked together during various times.
That's right. Yes, they have.
And they made a pact a while back, where if one got a head coaching job, the other would hire the other. Coach Barnett said that Coach Wilson was one of the first people he called once he got the job, because he got his, I believe, in February or March at North Johnson.
Yeah.
And he called Jay Wilson, and of course Jay was at that time the defensive coordinator and DB coach with Green Central, because Alan Wooten hadn't left yet. And
this was before the announcement of who we were going to have in high school.
Right.
Yes.
This is before all of that. And he called Jay and said, "Jay, I want you to come on and work for me." He's like, I think I'm cool right here. I think I like the situation. Because at that time, I think that he knew that Alan was interviewing for Havelock and had a good chance of getting Havelock because of all the success he had. And
of course, he's got connections. All of his family lives in that area, so it kind of made sense not only for football but for him personally.
Right. So, but he of course turned him down. And a few months later, he's announced as the Green Central head coach.
Yep.
And now both of them get to share that win together.
Yep.
And couldn't have happened to two better coaches.
Absolutely, two of our favorites, right?
Yeah,
of course.
You know, Coach Wilson, he's a very fiery guy. He was very emotional after the game, and you saw that quality that makes him a head coach, where he's relatable and he can he inspires people.
Yeah, the kids, those kids love Coach.
Yeah,
they do.
Coach Barnett told me, he's like, I've never been able to do it the way he does. He's like, he just has his way of inspiring kids that I've never seen in any other coach.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why he's going to be at Green Central for pretty much as long as he wants to be.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And Coach Barnett, I think he does a great job of being real with his kids and teaching them and coaching them. I think that's his best skill, and I think that they're going to have a lot of success there in North Johnston. Especially relative to North Johnston, who hasn't had a lot of success in the past few years. I think that he can give them a chance in the next few years to be able to be competitive. And then he's done a good job of going down to the middle school. The middle school coaches are out there at their practices and building a program. And I think that's really important. I think that's one of the cool things about hiring older coaches is sometimes they're just ready to stick and stay. So you got somebody who's going to stay there and build something for a long time. So congrats to both of them once again.
Absolutely. Green Central will be hosting Farmville Central this in their next game. And who's North Johnston playing next week?
North Johnston's playing ACOG.
That's gonna be it's gonna be really good.
Right.
Really good week for both of them. Hopefully,
Right,
it's gonna be two good games.
Right. Of course, now we're gonna go to a new segment that we have called Buy or Sell.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Quarter of the way in now, so we're gonna.
I can't believe it's been that long already.
It's been 4 weeks.
It's going too fast, man.
There's only 7 weeks left, man. 7 to 8 weeks, really.
That's not hoping kind.
Yeah. So.
But buy or sell. It's going to be a bit. There's a real new segment here on the Rapid Reaction Show.
Let's talk about one of your teams real quick.
All right.
Northside, buy or sell. They are now 3-1. After losing to Washington this week.
In terms of their success, I think they can find some more wins, of course.
Right.
So I will go buy. I will go buy on this one, and I think that with their schedule, there are games that they can go get. I believe they're playing Manio this weekend, or this coming Friday, I should say. And they have a really good group of kids. Zakai Wilson is one of their top players, and I think they're going to challenge. Their conference is tough, of course. When you have to play like Tarboro and Southside, their rivals will always be tough because it's a rivalry game. But I think there are a lot of games that they can get this year. So I'm going to go buy. What do you think?
I'm going sell, man. This team reminds me a lot of last year. Last year's team started 3-0, and I think this weekend will kind of tell you what type of team they are.
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
If they lose this, and it looks exactly like last year, and I think you could see them going a little bit of a spiral. Because you got Tarboro, you got Riverside.
Oh yeah, Riverside too. Gotta give them some love.
You might have to see. I don't know. Pamlico's had their problems, but
they
still have so much talent on that.
Yeah,
team.
they were competitive this past week. So
and then you still have,
of course, Southside, Jones Senior, and
South
Creek
Jones
as well.
Senior, South Creek. All of those teams are some very tough teams. And last year, they did the exact same thing. Started at 3-0, and Fizzled out and was only able to get, I think, 2 wins.
I think they went 6-6 eventually.
I think they fizzled out. So I think right here, I think that this is kind of going to be the gut check week where we find out if they're real or false.
Well, this is actually a really good test for them because Manio's got a pretty good quarterback, David Sawyer, 6'4" quarterback, is pretty good, senior. I also have on the defensive line the big man, 6'4", 320-pound defensive lineman Armani Pledger. So it's going to be that's going to be a really good test for them. I think that I personally think that they are going to find a way to get revenge from last year because Manio did beat them last year.
Right.
But yes, I do see some of your points, but I'm sticking with buy. I really believe the Panthers can do something really nice.
Another one of your teams, D.H. Conley, now 0-4.
Yeah, it's been
buy
a
or
for them.
sell the Vikings.
I'm kind of on the fence with this one, but I feel like I'm really not sure. I'm like I'm leaning sell, but I'm like, I can see why I could also say buy. Because at first, you look at Conley 0-4, like they're 0-4, but you see the teams they played.
Right.
They played like Scotland County this past week, and a whole bunch of
Mount,
Rocky Mount's
Northeast.
good. Northeastern has always been really good, especially recently. But when it comes to their conference, there are games in their conference that they can get. Obviously, I think Southern and Eastern Wayne, those games will be competitive, but I think those are games they can get. But the conference as a whole, in general, is getting better. New Bern is really, really good, and you've talked so well about Coach Noel over there.
Right.
Rose is a tough out every year, of course, arch rival, South Central. So I'm actually, it sounds like I'm talking myself into saying sell. What do you say?
I'm selling too, man. It's tough to see. You know, this week they got West Carteret.
That's a game. They'll win that game, I think.
I think they'll win that one too as well. Not the shortchange West Carteret or anything like that. It's just I think that when you look at the reason why they're 0-4, it does make you feel like they can turn this ship around. But I think one of the problems is, like you said, Rose, South Central, New Bern, CD Aycock. Those are all four of those are going to be tough games that they're going to have to go out and get. But the thing is, they are battle tested, so I think you know, as long as they don't lose this weekend, you know, I still say sell as far as their chances at maybe being one of the top 3 teams, like we had said.
Yeah.
Because actually now I'm believing that New Bern might be the one to win this conference. Honestly.
Yeah. If you've seen like New Bern, obviously, like we just talked about Coach Noel. He's got a lot of really good players. So yes.
Yeah. So I think when you talk about it, I think now I'm looking at them as they might be. Can they finish in the top 4, or or are they going to fall to the 5 behind Aycock? I mean, I can honestly see it. You know, it's a tough going right now.
Yeah, I hate saying that.
The thing is, I think I don't sell their chances at the playoffs. So I think they'll still be a playoff team.
Yes, definitely.
And I think they'll be all right.
Of course, I hate saying that because I like Coach Connor. And those kids are really competitive kids, and I know they want to win. It's just that schedule when you start the season, when you have to play. Defending regional champ, you have to play a perennial, really good 4A squad in Scotland's 4A, right?
Right.
And then of course Rocky Mount, they've had a great showing against Pitt County schools. They just beat Rose this past weekend, shut them out. So it's tough saying that about the Vikings, but they will win some games, but I won't. Really, I'm selling. I'm selling their chances at contending for a conference championship.
I don't think that they're the county of old where you had them being able to just throw the ball around like
they're going through a time where they lost some prolific.
Yeah, I mean, you lost C.J. Johnson, and you lost Holton Ehlers.
That was the year before, but that's
that changes your program a little bit from. And the thing about it is, I don't think they've gotten their proper respect for what they've done over the last 2 years.
Yeah, they're
I remember their seeding came out, I think 2 years ago when they had a Holton, and it was I didn't like their seeding as well. So
absolutely.
But I think that they'll be able to. I think that they'll be able to, like I said, bounce back and be able to get somewhere in that 4 to 5 range. But I just can't see top 3 right now like we expected.
Let's keep it rolling.
Of course, Corinth Holders 3-0. They're coming off a bye week. They got Smithfield Selma.
We'll start with you on this one. What do you think of Corinth Holders? Buy or sell?
That is really tough because I'm looking at their conference, and their conference hasn't been spooky good. You know what I'm saying? As far as being something that can be scared. But I mean, when you look at their schedule, they got Smithfield Selma. They got Cleveland, and then they start their conference play. And their conference has been pretty good so far.
Usually. And they're usually good every year. So.
Yeah, I mean, but, I think we had them both finishing last, and I think I have to buy them. I think, I could see them finishing somewhere between 7 and 8 wins now.
Wow.
When you get those first 3, and, I think you can beat Smithfield Selma, probably lose to Cleveland. 4-1, so maybe you can win 3 or 2 or 3 in the conference.
Yeah, 6. I feel like 6 or 7 is pretty nice.
So
considering they were 1-10 last year, right?
Right.
So that would be a huge improvement. And by the way, we do apologize for picking them last. That was kind of they've proven us that they are winning games here. So that's really
it kind of is what it is. Preseason projections are preseason projections.
They're usually never right.
Yeah, because there's always somebody who's a little bit different, or they have something different, or there are things there are known knowns and there are known unknowns, and then there are unknown unknowns.
Yeah, but I agree. I'll buy them as well. I think that 6 or 7 wins is right for the Pirates.
Right.
And that win over Clayton was such a special win for that program. And I know they really wanted that one. They showed how much they wanted that game, especially with the block punt and the
Cameron Whitaker finishing
it off. They was just with bully ball at the end, and I think that they're going to have a successful year. Absolutely. Right. So I'll buy. I'm with you on that one.
All right, so now they're actually playing another buy or sell team, Smithfield Selma. 1-3 now. Lost to North Johnson last night.
And I know you have been buying Smithfield Selma stock. So this is kind of a rough one for you. So what do you think? What do you think?
I am currently. I think I am going to stick with what I have and buy.
I like that.
I think what they're going through right now is the toughest thing about changing a culture is you can do everything right as far as building it, coaching the kids, kids buying in and doing what they need to do.
Then you get on the field on Friday.
But then you get on the field sometimes and you hit these adversities.
Yeah.
And you hit adversity, and sometimes kids can kind of go into a shell. Some kids, because they've always gone into a shell. But maybe you fight back from it, but you don't know quite yet how to win. Learning how to win is very hard.
Absolutely, especially with a program that hasn't had a winning season since 2008.
Yeah. So it's a tough thing trying to win games. It sounds like a cop out, but it's just true. It takes some people. It's really easy. It's really easy when you start off with a fresh culture, but sometimes when it comes to winning, you have to learn.
And I think that they're gonna learn eventually. The Spartans are very well coached. Obviously, that North Johnson loss was kind of like a question mark one. But when you look at their conference, there are games in their conference they can get, right?
Right. I believe so. I think when you got West Johnston sitting there who's winless right now, and then you have South Johnston who is 1-3, and then you got East Wake who I believe is winless as well. I think you can get those 3. And then when you have a team like Clayton, and I know how badly Smithfield Selma wants to beat Clayton. Everyone wants to beat Clayton in Johnson County. I think that you can find those moments where you can overcome kind of that talent or trying to lose because you just want to win that game so badly. And I could see them continuing to stick with where we were at, where we said 3rd. I can see them staying there.
Yeah, in terms of conference play, there are games they can get. I believe in the Spartans. I'm going to buy just so I can make sure I answer. I'm with you on buy for that one. Absolutely.
Right. Of course, we talked about Clayton a little bit now. Buy or sell the Comets 1-3. Got their first win last night over a good Garner team.
I was going to say, I think that win, the way that they won that game, might spark something for them, and I think I'm going to start buying some Clayton Comets stock now.
Okay.
I think that the distractions. There are still some distractions of what's been going on with their school,
right?
And it's kind of taken away from how they've played.
Right.
But we also, like we always have mentioned about their schedule, they played Richmond County at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. And a Corinth holder squad that's hungry, they were 2-0 at the time, have only beaten them once all time, and I feel like those 3 games were a little bit of a distraction, but a game like the one that they won on Friday against Garner really could spark something. So I think I'm going to buy some Comet stock. I'm going to go buy.
Okay. Now,
what do you think?
I think I have to, because the one thing that kind of gets me about them too is it's not like they're out of the woods.
No.
It's still
Clayton. I mean, it's the Clayton Comets. Everyone wants, like you said, everyone wants to beat Clayton because they've been the standard for such a long time, right?
Right. And when you look at what they have left, I'm actually going to take a look here at our iPad here.
Absolutely, yeah. I think who they have next week?
Next week they have Fuquay-Varina.
And that's
I think that's a game you
Uh-huh.
get. But now, like I said, you have South Johnson and West Johnson. Those are teams that you can beat. Then you have Smith LaSelma. That's obviously a team you can beat. I think it would be in the East Wake, of course, but for them to beat Cleveland, I think that would be near impossible.
Yeah.
I just think that Cleveland is probably the best team between the two of us, to be honest. And let's see.
Yeah,
they also have Heritage coming up too as well. So I mean, Heritage,
South Johnson, East Wake, and West Johnson are games they could get.
Yeah, right. So I think,
and also Triple S maybe.
Right. I think that they are probably still a playoff team, and they probably could still finish second.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with bye.
Yes.
But it is going to be tough for them. They've played a gauntlet, and I think that
they played a gauntlet. They're on and off the field. There's just been distractions all over the place.
So I think bye is good for right now.
But yes, I definitely agree with that.
And we're going to go for the next squad is North Lenoir.
Oh yeah,
3-0, first time in 26 years? 27?
Yes, first time since 1993. They're 3-0 after defeating Southern Wayne 14-13. And the way that they won was that Southern Wayne got the tying, or what would have been the tying touchdown. They missed the extra point with 1 minute left, and North Lenoir ran the clock out. So if I had to go buy or sell, I'm going buy. The Hawks have made me look pretty good. I think that their new offense, of course, the wing T. They've only thrown maybe one pass all year.
Yeah.
But they got some guys that can run that offense. Of course, James Kirkpatrick, Filippo Silvavi at quarterback, Chris Russell on the offensive line. I really believe that this is going to be a great season for the Hawks. And I really want it for them personally because after what happened last year, they did not win a game last year. And for them to be 3-0 is really nice. If they win on Tuesday against East Carteret, they'll be 4-0 for the first time since 1980. What do you think?
Then they have Eastern Wayne, who's winless.
Yes,
to
that's
close
right.
out
Friday.
conference.
Uh-huh.
But I gotta sell, man. I gotta sell. Right here, you got, like you said, you got East Carteret on Tuesday. That'd be the second game in 4 days. Then you got Eastern Wayne on Friday. That'll be your third game in 8 days.
Third game.
So you're talking about if you split those. Let's say you go 1-1 in those games, or or if you lose both of them. If you were to lose both of them, now you're sitting at 3-2 heading into conference play. I think they start off with Green Central.
Yes, they do. Yep.
They start off with Green Central. Then you go to I think West Carter. I meant West Craven or either Avon Griffin. Then after those two, then you go to Kinston. Then you got South Lenoir, who I think is much improved.
They are. I'm not saying this as in I think that their schedule is tough. Of course, when you play in the Eastern Carolina 2A conference, and you start with
Washington, you got Washington,
Green Central, Washington, West Craven.
Those are two teams that are very tough to beat.
Every team in conference is tough to beat.
Well, yeah. But you're talking about you got to go to Washington, you got to go to Avon Griffin, you got to go to Kinston. I just don't see how they can get out of this being more than the sixth best team in the Eastern Carolina Conference. Which sixth best in the Eastern Carolina Conference is pretty good. It's pretty good. How much we both love that conference. Yeah.
So
sixth in that conference is a really good.
But all I'm gonna say is this: don't underestimate them. These kids really want to win, and I think
there's a lot of kids. Everyone really wants to win.
But I feel it's none more than them after what happened last year. I think that
you can be winless and still have the same amount of win power as someone else.
I mean, if you go from 0-11 to win potentially 5 or 6 games, that'd be really good 180 turn for them.
Right.
I'm with you. Will it be tough? Yes, but I'm gonna stick with my North Lenoir stock.
I can see 6 wins. I can see 6 wins, and maybe, like I said, finishing 6th. which would be ahead of where we actually had them finishing in the preseason.
I think we had them 7th, yes.
Yeah, we had them finishing last. So I think, like I said, I'm going to continue to sell, and we'll see what happens. Of course, they did bite me in the game picks this week.
Speaking of which,
game picks.
the streak is over, people. I'm on the comeback trail. Let's go.
Laika won 16
I want my
to 15. He won 16 to 15 this week. So
yeah, a little bit of Kai's got a little bit of some issues with his judgment there. But it's okay. I'm still down 3 weeks to 1.
Of course, the game picks are presented by We Up Athletic.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Coach Nate.
Thank you for helping us out and believing in us. Of course, you are now 16 and 15. We've got our game picks out. We will put them out next week like we always do, but we will, we'll keep you up to date. Right now, I am up 3-1.
Yep.
So I think I can't blow it. I can't.
I was gonna say, don't blow those leads.
Can't pull Warriors. Or Clippers, or Houston Rockets.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But yes, thank you so much for watching the show today. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at StrikingNation24_ or at LMA Preps for high school updates. You can follow Kai at MMJ Kai Jones, and you can also follow us on all social media networks: WJG_sports on Twitter, WJG Sports on Instagram and YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting close to 300.
10 more, please. Let's get those 10 right here. This episode.
Absolutely. Also, like us on our Facebook page as well.
Right.
The love and support of all of our social media sites has really grown, and we really appreciate all of you guys for your continued support
Thank
of
you.
us on our podcast, of course. And
we have highlights on the YouTube from Princeton, Sophomore. We also have highlights on Goldsboro, CB Aycock. We have the big play, the big controversial play. If you want to go check it out.
Yeah. What say you on that play? You let us know what you think of that
play.
play.
And comment on it and tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
Feel free to come to the Instagram and make your comments.
Of course, you'll have Player of the Weeks.
Yeah, Player of the Week. Actually, congratulations to Rosewoods, Matthew Wade for getting Block of the Week this week, and then also Green Central's Alan Rubio, who's a soccer player, for getting non-football Player of the Week, and then congrats to Jaquise McLean for getting football Player of the Week.
Of course,
his story is to come out this week.
Absolutely. Be sure to be on the lookout for that. And of course, also be sure if you want to be on Block of the Week for week 4, send us everything. Yes.
Send us your best block. Show us how you put somebody on their tail. Show us how you sprang the halfback for the 60-yard scamper.
Exactly. Of course, we love our offensive linemen, right?
Yes.
So we gotta make sure we gotta give them some love. So of course, once again, this is the JLB Rapid Reaction Show. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. And be sure to look for the Just Like Brothers podcast. We out.